hell am I? Is that a koala? And a wasp? And a cicada? Ahem. Yes, those are the downfalls of Kin-ferno. You see, the koala, which is always eating the eucalyptus plant, is constantly drunk. The wasp, which is always angry, can sting you as many times as you want, and is always ready to fight. And the cicada, well, you've heard those before. They never shut up. Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Is that you? What are you doing here? Yes, it's me, and I'm going to be your guide through hell. You mean I'm in hell? Yes, well, at least the outskirts of hell. You're not quite in there yet, but you've managed to wander to one of the entrances, and I'm afraid these three guys are not going to let you back out the easy way. You're going to have to go all the way through hell in order to get back to the mortal world. I trust you, Ruth. I guess if that's the only way to get through. Here I go. Oh yeah, you're going to need this too. Here you go.
All of the following are true stories.
To me, the worst thing about family parties is that when we show up and then everybody has to know everything about my life. So like, what college did you apply to, and did you get in, and did you get any scholarships, and like, all of a sudden I'm just being interrogated by a large group of people, and it's the worst thing about families ever.
Oh, yeah. First circle of hell, those constantly asking about college. Yeah, their punishment is that they're always going to be surrounded by chattering birds that never shut up.
So when I was a little kid, like really little, my grandpa used to like hold me captive as he told me a story, and it was his when my mother used to tell me to go buy meat story, and he basically just held me in place, and he like traced his like finger up my arm and down my arm and then tickled me, and it was the worst. I hate being tickled. It's not fun.
The second circle of hell, yes, the grandfather is going to have to wade through swampy, murky water for the rest of eternity, you know, constantly being touched by weeds and mud and all sorts of unknown things.
Everyone was kind of catching up because we hadn't seen them in a few years, and my cousin Narissa, well, she's actually more in my mom's age, asked where Sydney was, and everyone kind of looked around. There was like 30 people there, and we couldn't find her, and so we were like, she's probably around. But then half an hour went by and no one saw her. More time went by and no one saw her again, and so then we all started looking around for her, and she was nowhere in the house. So we were like, where is she? And I asked my mom, I was like, do you think she's in the car? And my mom was like, no, she can't be in the car. And I was like, I'm gonna check the car. And so I went to check the car, and I opened up the sliding door to the van, and my little sister is sleeping in the back seat because she'd been left in the car and she didn't know what else to do. So she slept in the car for an hour and a half.
The people in the third ring of hell are constantly wandering around with blindfold and earplugs, unable to see or hear, and constantly feeling that they've been abandoned.
So there was the time that Chris, my younger brother, peed on the ceiling of our car on the way to my grandma's house. He really had to go, so we gave him a bottle, and he apparently has poor aim. There was also the time that my brother threw up on the way to a White Sox game in a plastic cup. I'm driving along, I don't feel good, handed him a cup, puked all over the place. But some of it got in the cup, not a whole lot. And then there was the time that another one of my brothers threw up in the car on the way home from the aquarium. We didn't even get out of the parking lot. Threw up then and there. It's one smelly car ride.
In the fourth circle of hell, well, those people are destined to always wear an unchangeable diaper.
So a few years ago, my grandma, I'm pretty sure she tried to set me up with one of my relatives, and like, we're not blood related, I think it was just by marriage. But she was like, oh, he's so nice and he's so smart and he likes reading. And so I finally met him, and he was like short, like shorter than me and younger than me, and really geeky, and just no.
The fifth circle of hell, well, setting people up with someone else related to them is not a good thing to do. So, because they're so uncomfortable, or because they made so many people uncomfortable in life, in death, they're going to be constantly uncomfortable watching this Super Bowl commercial. You remember it, right?
Last year at Thanksgiving, my cousin brought her boyfriend for like the first time to meet the family. And then another one of my cousins brought this huge, like, gallon at least flask full of Jamesons. And so throughout the night, you know, my cousin and her boyfriend had a bit too much of that, and they were staying over at my house that night. And so I went to bed, but my dad made sure to stay up, so like if they were to throw up, he could roll them over and they wouldn't like choke on their vomit, you know. But when we woke up the next morning, we go into the bathroom and we find out that the boyfriend had peed everywhere, all over my bathroom, because he lost control. He didn't have any aim while going to the bathroom because he was so drunk.
In the sixth circle, because they had no control in life, they shall have no control in death, and they will have to endlessly fall off a cliff.
My dad had fallen asleep on the couch, and my cousin had been playing downstairs with my brother, and he came upstairs with to get food or something, and he God, this is terrible. He tried to put a grape in my dad's mouth while my dad was sleeping, like with his mouth open in the reclining chair, and he was about to put it in my dad's mouth when my sister and I looked over and we were like, "Stop it, Samuel, like don't do that, stop, you're being weird." And then he went downstairs cackling to himself because he's probably evil, I don't know.
In the seventh circle, because he tried to have someone choke on a grape, he shall constantly be hung, with his toes just barely reaching a platform to give him momentary support in order to breathe, and so he will survive for an eternity, choking.
So it was Christmas 2 years ago, so I guess I was like 16 years old, and my parents are divorced and they hate each other, so we were like getting together for dinner, and also my dad never pays child support. Wait.
This was her therapy session.
Are you still filming me? Yes. Okay, so he never pays child support, so like we get through the dinner part of Christmas like pretty fine, like it's okay, no one's made any mean remarks, and then like at the end my mom is like, "Grace, can you go to your room?" And I'm like, "Okay, Mom, okay." So I went up to my room, and then I hear them like starting to yell at each other, because, you know, my dad doesn't pay child support and my mom is angry and he always complains about everything, and that's so fun. I love having divorced parents.
In the eighth circle, because he didn't do what he was supposed to in life, he now doesn't get to do what most people are supposed to do in death, you know, take a shower, brush your teeth. He has to spend the rest of eternity living in his own filth.
So last Easter, my family and I were not there, but this is what we heard happen at the family Easter gathering at my sister's house. Apparently, a big brawl broke out at some point. Too much alcohol, I think, was the biggest culprit, mixed with my niece deciding to leave the party with her boyfriend. She's 21. Go into her car, or her boyfriend's car, I forget, and smoke marijuana. Of which, of course, the other cousins noticed at this party that they were missing, so it became this thing that, where are they, what's going on? My sister caught wind, she caught them, her and my niece, my sister and my niece, started this fight. There was a lot of profanity and screaming, and it was crazy, and it ended with my niece and her boyfriend storming out and leaving, and my sister basically saying, "Don't come back." So, yeah, happy times.
In the ninth circle of hell, because they lit up marijuana in life, they should forever be lit up in death. You know, the classic burning in hell scenario. Well, I made it through hell. You did! Good job. I wish you luck with the rest of your life.